beautiful engagement rings that are not going to be these high-end 3-carat, with the whole alphabet there listed for what color the diamond is. I mean, it's just gotten crazy.
Here's a spoiler alert. I forgot my wedding ring today, and I took a Sharpie and drew it on here.
I thought you got that tattooed.
No, actually I didn't. I drew it on there.
Just like once a week, you just get a Sharpie out and redraw it.
Not once a week. I just was on the way to work. I was hustling this morning. I had some early stuff this morning.
At this point, just get it tattooed.
I probably will.
It's your next one.
It's a henna.
It's a henna.
That's right.
Oh, that's
good
stuff.
Will. George, you've been married more recently than me.
Yeah,
was it a dramatic
4 years.
process?
No, because it wasn't about the ring and the wedding, and we did get a free wedding because we're ballers and won a contest. But that's just, I can't give you advice on that.
Yeah, you don't really get an opinion then because your wedding was free.
That's true. But I do have a lot of opinions about how much you should spend on a wedding, and it should be as little as possible and more focus on premarital counseling than the wedding day.
I like it.
There you go.
All right, this is the Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. Give us a shout. We'll be here when you get back.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Triple 8-825-5225. This is the Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney, joined by George Camel, and we're taking your calls on money, life, relationships, mental health, anything you got going on, work. Give us a shout. 888-825-5225. Let's go out to H-Town. Let's go talk to Steven in Houston. What's up, Steven?
Hey, guys. How you doing? It's an honor to be on.
Thank you so much, brother. What's up?
All right. So I'm 17 years old. I live in Houston, Texas. And for the past year and a half, inspired by y'all, I've been doing my best to save and work. And working a job at Starbucks and various side hustles, I've managed to save $15,000.
Whoa. Way to go, man.
You got any debt?
Appreciate it. No, absolutely none.
Dude, you're a rock star. Way to go. So you got $15,000 saved and no debt. And what is your question today?
Well, the problem is that whole $15,000 sitting in a high school checking account, and I've been looking up on inflation lately, and it's not looking so good for it. So I was wondering if you had any advice on it. I've been thinking about putting my money in mutual funds, and my parents have already started a Roth IRA for me, and they're already maxing that out.
Wow.
But I've been having a hard time investing because my parents are in the higher income brackets, so I'd have to get 35% basically off the money any time I invest with them.
Okay, let's slow down a sec, Stephen. What do you want to do with your life?
Take about 30% off.
What's the next 4 or 5 years of your life look like? Are you looking to go to college? Are you looking to go into the workforce, be an entrepreneur? What are you thinking?
Yes, sir. I want to go to college. I'm thinking A&M right now. They have a pretty good value, and they're right here in Texas, so I can still see my family. The whole situation I have is my parents set aside $110,000 for me, and anything I don't spend is mine. So I'm looking for a state school for sure.
Dude, you are the man, and your parents have raised you well. Sharp people. So here's the thing. I think you have plenty of time to invest. I have no question you're going to be a multi-millionaire probably by your early 30s at the latest. And so what I want you to do right now is invest in Steven and make sure that we get Steven through college completely debt-free, and maybe you're going to want to upgrade in car, and maybe you're going to meet a nice girl, maybe you're going to want to buy a house. There's a lot of life that's going to happen in the next 10 years, so I don't want you to throw all your money into investments in the name of inflation.
Absolutely.
So it's one of those things, brother. You are so ahead of your the people around you that you found yourself all alone and you feel like you're behind, and you're not. You are way, way ahead. And George, you can do the math quicker than I can, but the inflation against your 15,000 is not. It's not going to be make or break over the next few years, right? You're not talking like, I would have made $10,000 or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you could put it, and if you want to, put it in a high-yield savings account, which will get you, maybe 1.5% right now, which is better than zero.
Absolutely.
But again,
I was thinking Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Is that a good one?
Yeah. I use that one, and it's great. And so that's a good place to park money, but I would not put it into the stock market, into mutual funds. It'll create some taxable scenarios. Your money's going to be locked up. You might be selling at a loss. I don't want that for you at 17 when you've got a lot of life expenses coming up between car, college, housing. There's a lot of unknowns right now. And so I'd rather you have a giant pile of liquid cash at 22 than say, well, I'm broke, but I have 100,000 in mutual funds. Yay.
Exactly. And that $110,000 looks huge until you start spending it on college, right? So that's a good semester and a half probably. I'm just kidding. Texas A&M is a great school, but that you're going to burn through that 110 grand over 4 years pretty quickly when you factor in rent and room and board and tuition and study abroad, all those things that pop up. So hang in there, brother.
And his parents already have the Roth IRA going for him
at
17.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So
He'll be just
we're
fine.
doing great.
Crushing
All right,
it.
let's go to Paul in San Francisco. What's up, Paul?
Hey, guys. Had a question for you. I'm 27 years old. I just recently got married about a month ago.
Congrats.
Me and my wife are trying to figure out, thank you very much. Me and my wife are trying to figure out the best approach to create financial freedom in our life. And our next goal is to purchase a home. Now, I live in the Bay Area, and it's extremely expensive to purchase a home out here. So we're trying to figure out if we should be putting all of our ducks in one basket to put, everything towards this home, or as we're doing now, we're putting some money aside for 401k, for mutual funds, and other means of investments. So I'm trying to figure out, should we be splitting it like we're doing now, or should we be trying to put a lot more heavy load onto the house side?
Well, I'll borrow this tagline from Reese's. There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. And so this kind of applies to your 3B.
There's a wrong way to say it, though, George. It's
Reese's.
a Reese's.
Reese's Pieces. That's how I remember
There you
it.
go.
So when it comes to 3B and baby step 4, which is what you're talking about, do we pause investing to save up the down payment? It largely depends on your lifestyle, your income, your age, your future goals, your risk tolerance. And so in your shoes at 27, you guys are pretty young. You just got married. There's nothing wrong with investing right now as long as you're okay slowing down the down payment process, especially in the Bay Area, which means it could take 5 to 8 years to save up a down payment, right?
Right.
What's your household income?
Right now, we clear about $200K after tax.
Which is minimum wage for San Francisco.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
do you guys want to stay there long term?
Yeah, I own a business here.
Okay.
So it would be really hard to move. I would love to get out of this area, honestly, but it's just, it just really depends. It's a kind of a custom, unique business, so it'd be hard to move it somewhere else.
Okay. Well, we usually say if it's going to be longer than 2 to 3 years, you're pausing investing. That's our limit. And so if it's going to be beyond that, I would go ahead and begin investing beyond that period of time. But if it's for a short period, 2 to 3 years, you want to pause investing. You guys are young. You got plenty of time on your side. You have a great income. Then if you want to stack up that down payment in 2 to 3 years because you have 15% more of your income, we're okay with that too. So what would that look like for you? Let's say you paused investing. How quickly could you save up a reasonable down payment for a reasonable place in the Bay Area?
Well, the goal would be at least 50% down, which is somewhere here is 5 to 600K. Currently we have a 60K emergency fund, which I want to hold there.
Whoa, that feels high.
And we have about, 400, 500K in investments. So, we could kind of tap into that stuff, but I don't really want to cut my legs off there. So if we didn't tap into any of that stuff.
Is that non-retirement investments?
All non-retirement. You're going to hate this. Most of it's in crypto, actually.
Wow. Well, I'm just looking at that pile of money going, hey, what if we cashed out with $500,000 and we fast forward this thing and get out of crypto?
What are you doing, man?
Yeah. I know. I'm trying to juggle that around too. Trust me.
Okay. You can keep juggling it, or hang with me here. You can just stop juggling.
Yeah.
Here's what's really cool about your situation. You could do one of two things. You could take your crypto money and put it in your front yard and just set it all on fire, which would be cool, which is what essentially you're doing. Or you could have a house in the next 30, 45 days.
Yeah, which would be really nice.
So do we want virtual money?
You want pretend money for internet money? I have some friends who have some internet girlfriends. They're not real, but it's fun. Or do you want a real house that you can put your real body and family into?
Yeah, the latter's the obvious answer. I guess what goes on in my head is, hey, I've made insane growth on my investment over the last 10 years of doing these investments, and I don't want to. It'd be hard for me to cut that off because
who thinks the same way? Gamblers in Vegas.
Growth, right?
They're like, well, I'm doing great. I'm going hot at the craps table.
I don't want to get up
$10,000.
now. I got to go to the bathroom. I'm just going to pee in the bottle under the table because I don't want to leave the table, right? Hey, listen, there's a great Nassim Taleb quote that I love. It says, I woke up today, so I'm either immortal or I haven't died yet. And you, my friend, have been playing with fire. And you think, I'm just going to keep building and building. There's a point when this comes to a dramatic and swift end. I would suggest you cut your losses.
Here's another quote. Quit while you're ahead.
Exactly.
That's a simpler way to say it.
Go buy a house today. Tell your wife it's happening. House time is on me and my imaginary money. We'll be right back.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
How many times have you found yourself saying one day when thinking about a goal you have, one day I'll be able to buy a house, one day I'll be happy with my career, or one day I won't have to battle with anxiety anymore? Stop waiting around. Whatever your one day is, you have to start now. Just start. And that's why we created Smart Conference. Smart Conference is the one-day event where we tackle all areas of your life. And hey, let's face it, we could all use that kind of boost right now. You'll hear from the nation's top thought leaders on money, career, mental health, relationships, marriage, and leadership. George will probably be wearing a denim jacket again.
100%.
This event is hitting the road and will be coming to Dallas, Texas on Saturday, October 22nd. Event passes are flying out the door. The VIP and Platinum passes are already sold out, but you can still get general access passes for $39. Best-selling authors and world-class speakers include Rachel Cruz, me, Ken Coleman, George Kamel, Christina Ellis, and Dave will be there in full force, not to mention our friends and leadership experts from Life Church, Craig and Amy Groeschel. We'll have some other big surprises. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be an all-day thing. Make sure you go check it out. Visit RamseySolutions.com/events to get your event passes today. All right, let's go to Amy in Boise. Hey, what's up, Amy?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much for reaching out. What's up?
Okay, I have a 3-week-old baby, and last week, unfortunately, my husband said that he wants a divorce.
Oh, God.
So I am re-looking at my life and trying to figure out what my next move should be. We had been doing baby step 2-ish for a bit here, and I'm going to be leaving the marriage debt-free. So my parents have offered to have me move in with them for a time, probably until the spring. And I'm just wondering if that's a smart move or not.
So the way you're talking about this is pretty calm and collected. Was this a shock to you, or is this a long time coming? Or are you just in shock right now?
I'm pretty sure I'm in shock.
Okay.
So, yeah, we've struggled. We've been together for 12 years, married for 4, and we've really been struggling. He's been really distant for about a year, and I've just, not recognized the pain of my words. So he's essentially just closed his heart, and he says we have incompatible trauma, and that's why we are going our separate ways. So
sounds like you're going your separate ways because he's walking out the door.
Unfortunately, yeah, I think that's the case.
I guess I just start by saying I'm sorry.
Thanks.
I grew up in Houston and Houston, Texas, and hurricanes are regular occurrence there. And there was times that we would go in after a hurricane had come through and help our friends or neighbors or community members cleaning up the mess. And sometimes we'd get there soon enough after the hurricane had hit and the sun comes up, and there's people walking around just rubble, looking for something like a water bill. Like, I got to get this bill. I was supposed to pay it, and I got to figure it. I got to find it, and so I can get this thing paid. And it was one of those moments where we had to. You have to get somebody to stop and walk out into the street and look at their house because their house is gone. And so, what I would tell you is your husband's thrown a grenade in the middle of your life. And so right now we're going to stop thinking about baby step 2. We're going to stop talking about the debt-free journey and all that kind of stuff. What we're going to do is start thinking about 4 walls. Like, do we have a place that we can go? And you said your mom's reached out. I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Making sure that we have a place to stay. We've got food. We've got clothes. We've got utilities. We've got transportation. Let's make sure these basic needs are met for you and your new baby. Okay. Let's start there.
Yeah, and I do have. So we live in a townhome now, and he's moved out.
Okay.
And I can afford it by myself.
Okay.
But I'm just trying to decide if it. Maybe where I would do more healing, or
so here's an important move, and this came from Dr. Andy Young, the guy who trained me on crisis response. Don't make any major decisions for 6 to 12 months if you can avoid it. If you have to sell this place because you have to, great. Let's do that, because we're going back to survival. Do we have the basics right now? But trying to figure out, I mean, you're talking, when did your husband tell you this?
Last Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, you're in the middle of this thing. Okay. Trying to figure out, like, where's the best place I'm going to do healing? Let's worry about, do we have food and do we have a roof? Okay. And then we're going to start figuring out, okay, what is the paperwork process? Do we have an attorney? Someone's going to walk alongside us in this divorce and make sure the assets are all separated and everything. And people say things like, I'm going to make sure I pay off all the debt when we leave and all this stuff. man, then lawyers get involved and everybody gets messy. And so I would wait until the smoke clears on the actual divorce. And Dave says this best. Once somebody says, I want a divorce, and they move out, the relationship is gone from it transitions from a romantic relationship to a business transaction. That's why you get an attorney, because now this is a business interaction between you and this man that you were married to. See the difference there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now it's about protecting you and that little girl and making sure you're able to separate with dignity. And then we're going to start thinking about healing. Where's the best place? Should I sell this condo and all that kind of stuff? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Key here is make sure you surround yourself with other people.
Yeah.
You cannot go
I've
through
had
this
a really
process
great
alone.
support system.
Good.
So,
Will you ask for help
Yeah.
and lean into it?
yeah.
Okay. Maybe set up meal trains. I'm going to need somebody to take care of this and this and this for a season. Anybody have a good attorney? Will somebody go with me to talk to the lawyer, because I'm only going to hear part of it because I'm going to be in shock. You see what I'm saying? Like, get somebody to go with you on these things, and that will be in your corner as you're figuring out what comes next.
Okay.
Do you have income right now, Amy? Are you working outside the home before
Yeah.
the baby?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you see yourself going back to work?
Yeah, definitely. I make $118 a year, and I've got 2 kids now, so I've got to work.
Okay. What does childcare look like?
We have a great daycare, and we had been planning to send them both there once I go back. So, yeah, I'm just in the middle of my leave now, so just sitting around absorbing all this information.
How old is your youngest? I mean, your oldest.
He's 3 years old.
Oh my gosh, jeez Louise. A great gift you can give him is to not act stoic and rock solid through this process. Let him see mom be sad. And don't use him as a prop to hold you up, because he can't carry the weight of your pain and the weight of your hurt. But his body is going to react to dad moving out, and his body's going to react to mom's anxiousness and the transition and what are we doing and why is grandmother over here all the time, all that kind of stuff. And if he sees mom be sad too and says, Bubba, I'm sad also. Can I give you a hug? And he gives you a hug, and he sees you cry, and then he sees you get up and go help, get food on the table, get some things going on. That's going to be a gift for him, because he's not going to feel crazy. He's going to feel like he's just like mommy, and mommy's sad too.
Amy, I want to give you one more gift. Hang on the line. Austin will pick up. I'm going to get you connected with a financial coach on us in the Boise area who can walk with you through this process. And please call us back if you need anything else.
I'm going to give you a copy of Own Your Past, Change Your Future as well. You can get that book and start working through that as figure out what comes next. We're so sorry. We'll be right back. This is the Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. Blinds.com's 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, like George did with his jacket today, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Alex in Chattanooga. My father-in-law wants to take the whole family, 7 adults, 4 kids, to Scotland in 2024. His scheme is to pay for the air tickets with American Express credit card points. He has ordered cards for his 3 daughters and wants them to pay for everything in their life with them and pay him back on a weekly or monthly basis. Not sure of that detail yet. He has already decided this, and the cards are in the mail. Apparently, he needs about 1 million points to get all the tickets for free. I know this is a horrific idea. I don't know how to tell him no on this.
Can we just, before we get into this, it's kind of a great idea. Like,
Brilliant.
I see this guy. Was like in an IHOP, and he was like, "Wait a minute," and then he's like had a napkin and started doing the math. It was like, I could take my whole family.
Oh, he needs 1 million points.
Oh, he needs 1 million points.
This is like when I was at Chuck E. Cheese, and I was like, okay, I need 40,000 tickets to get the boombox. And so I'd spend like $20, $30, and I'd end up with like 400 tickets, and they gave you like a little sticky hand.
Yep.
And like a pack of gum.
And so with $18,000, I could get that boombox up there with 40,000. Okay, so
but he's asking. I don't know how to tell him no. It's a father-in-law. It's
messy.
It's a little bit of a different relationship.
Messy. All right, so anytime somebody's asking me, George, how do I tell somebody no on this? We always practice. Say, repeat after me. No, thank you. And then they'll look at me like I'm kind of an idiot, and then they'll say no, thank you, and I'll be like, that you did
Gotcha.
it, right? You did it. So here's what we have here. We have a father-in-law who loves his family, and he wants to do a really cool thing. I would even go as far to read into this story is that there's something in their family lineage in Scotland, right? Maybe we're going to go back and see where great-great-great-great-grandparents lived or something. The whole idea here is pretty cool. And the father-in-law wants to honor everybody. We're going to do this. And father-in-law looks in the bank account and says, I can't pay for 11 people to go for a week to Scotland. Fair enough. Very few father-in-laws could do that. But he figured out a plan. It's just that the plan, as Alex writes, is a horrific idea, right? George, walk through. Why is this a terrible idea? I've got my own opinion on it, but go ahead.
Well, number one, he's apparently forcing his daughters to use credit cards to fund their life in order to get these points. And so I look at it logically. I look at the goal, right? The goal is Scotland 2024 for 11 people. And I go, okay, how much is that going to cost? So then I go, okay, we have 2 years to save up. Let's say it's $3,000 a person. Then I go, okay, daughter, number one, could you save up $3,000 in the next 2 years? What would that take to do that with cash? And I guarantee you it's a lot easier than the scheme of hoping you have enough points, and by 2 years from now, let's hope American Express hasn't changed their program and what those points are actually valued at and what the blackout dates are and which airlines and places you can fly to.
And worse,
it's a nightmare.
Worse built into this is, hey, honey, you owe me $49. Hey, honey, you owe me $706.
And what happens when they can't pay because they overspent to trying to help dad get as many points as possible?
Or they have a $700 Costco bill and they swipe it, and then all of a sudden the transmission falls out and they got to fix that. And then now dad's like, well, wait a minute, guys, I need my.
But John, there was 6% points if you shop online at this specific retailer, and so that's why I spent $1,000.
Gotcha.
In order to get the 6% instead of the 4%.
I needed 111 pairs of Banana Republic socks so that I could get the.
This is the game we're playing, John.
Yes.
Now, the numbers here are outrageous. 1 million points, if anything, regardless of what. We don't know what these points are worth.
So great. So look at Bitcoin. All right, here's my problem with it, okay? And you and I have talked about this just hanging out. Let's say this works perfectly. Let's say the family, they're all in. They come up with a foolproof system. We are going to, every week, we're going to write dad a check for the money that we spent. We're going to spend anyway. We're going to spend this money anyway. We had to buy groceries anyway. We had to pay for rent anyway. We had to do all these things anyway. We just threw them on this American Express card, and then we wrote dad a check instead of writing it to our rent or to our light bill or whatever. Everything works out perfectly. And the family takes a 100% free trip to Scotland in 2024. It all works. Here's what got me out of this system. Because I'm somebody who used points and we paid it off every month. It never affected my family other than I was quote unquote winning. And it was a light bulb moment for me when I realized, oh, this credit card company is not my friend. They're not just giving me free flights and hotels because they like me. And they're like, you've been so good to us, bro. We're going to be good to you. That's not how they work. Then I realized that there's a single mom with 3 kids trying to figure out how she can put gas in the car because it's tripled in price. And she can't figure it out. She's got to swipe this card. and it's got a $500 limit, and she's having to balance that card with another one with a $250 limit, and she's paying for my flight. And I'm not going to be a part of a system that preys on people who can't make their payments or who found themselves suddenly a single mom like the last caller, or who's living in a city and all of a sudden rent's tripled. I'm not going to go to Scotland for free on the backs of those men and women who are trying to scratch and claw their way through life. I'm opting out of a corrupt system that preys on people who have less than or who are struggling. I'm not going to play. I couldn't enjoy a trip to Scotland that I got for free knowing that it was paid for by people who can't, like, who are struggling, right? Or who don't have enough control in their life, or who use shopping as some form of medication or some sort of anxiety relief from trauma. I'm not going to play that game. I'm opting out. I'd rather pay for my trip to Scotland. I'd rather tell my family, I want to do this cool thing, like you mentioned earlier, in 2 years. Can we all save up? Can we all be a part of this? I'd rather that than this pretend thing like, I'm taking this all for free. Y'all just do chores for me for the next 2 years.
Baby.
Yeah. You do chores for me for the next 2 years, and then we're all going for free. I'm just not playing that game.
No. It's not.
So it's more of a heart thing.
If you truly believe it's free, then their marketing is working very, very well.
That's right. Or that they're friends with you.
That's amazing. Because what's going to take, truthfully, they're going to have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on those cards over the next 2 years in order to get their 1,000,000 points.
And even if you were going to do it anyway, don't play in a system that preys on other people. Just don't, man.
Not worth it.
Yeah.
So just save up.
So
give yourself some cash back.
Here's the truth before we pass this on. Your father-in-law comes to you and says, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. The conversation is probably, again, me and a friend of mine argue on this, but I think your wife is the one, or your husband, I don't know if Alex is man or woman, but whoever is the direct child of this father-in-law sits down and says, hey, I don't play with credit cards. I don't participate in this game. You let me know how much the tickets cost, and I'll let you know if we can afford our family's ability to go. And we will put in the cash on this trip, but I don't participate in this. And it might be come on, it's all figured out. It's all cool. That's great, man. I don't play in that game. And if your father-in-law doesn't respect your family's boundaries in that way, this trip to Scotland's going to be a pretty awful adventure. So you've opted out. Thank goodness you avoided a pretty disastrous trip together, right?
Yeah, I only see that one of two ways. Either father-in-law goes, hey, I want to gift this to you guys with no strings attached, or, hey, I'd love to go on this trip. Let me know if you guys can make it and if we can afford it.
There you go.
But this weird in-between of you got to play by my rules and sign up for this credit card and pay me back every month for everything that creates a very different dynamic in the relationship.
Yeah. It just sounds like I've come up with a great idea. You just do chores for me for a long time.
It reminds me of the call Dave took where a guy said, hey, I want to buy a payphone for the house, and everyone puts quarters in it, and then I get all the money, and we get free phones. And Dave's like, don't you have to pay for, the phone line? Like the air that the phone... And the guy was like, oh, I didn't think about that. Dang it, I thought I scammed the system.
And
oh, boy.
Whiff. Good job.
Yep.
Speaking of scamming the system, that's the first hour in the books today, ladies and gentlemen.
We did it.
We did it, even though you got denim on denim here, George, and we're still going anyway. We're going strong. Hey, we'll be back in the next hour. Join us, 888-825-5225. We'll be right back on The Ramsey Show. Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions in Nashville, Tennessee, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, your money, your relationships, your work. I am John Deloney, joined here by George Camel, and we are taking your calls on just about everything. 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-225. The call is free. give us a buzz. Let's go out to Huntington, West Virginia, and talk to Kane. What's up, Kane?
How's it going, guys? I'm so happy to be talking to you guys.
You're the first Kane either of us have ever talked to on the show. It's good to talk to you, man.
That's good. And I don't have a horse.
Thank you, Kane.
That way,
Kane knows how I feel about horse folk.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Bless you.
I do like horses, Kane, but that's a whole other thing. All right, so what's up, man?
I got a two-part question. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting my wife on board, and then I'm letting everything go as my income's just keeping us afloat on everything that we do. I've got some rental properties and stuff, but our mortgage is pretty heavy, and I'm just trying to get a base on what. I know I've heard you tell people before, like if you can pay it off, just, a lot of times they'll tell them to sell the rentals, but I've never heard anybody say that they had rentals that was paid off, versus not being paid off. Normally they've got mortgages and stuff on them, so I was just trying to get a basis on what.
Let's start at the very beginning here. You said you're having a hard time getting your wife on board with what?
Just the Ramsey plan in general. I mean, she knows that I'm, real apt to just, I try to push it on a lot of people between my sister and her and just family members, because I know what such a good thing it does for people, and I try to get it out to the world,
So it's not a big secret that I'm a super nerd. Okay, that's not for debate. I hide some of the depths of my nerddom, and I'll let you in on one of my nerd secrets. Is that cool? Back in the day, absolutely. I used to have a spreadsheet that I kept, and I went and bought my own glucose monitor and my glucose strips, and I would keep my blood sugar levels, and I'd keep my ketone levels. And every month I would try a new fad diet, and I wanted to track and see what was happening in my body and if it worked good and what my weight was and how my energy levels were and all this stuff. It got to the point that my wife every month would say, because she's just awesome, she'd say, what are we this week? Are we raw vegan? Are we keto? What are we doing? And every week I would read a new book and be like, this is the thing. And I became like...
The worst?
Yes. I was...
insufferable? I can keep going.
Evangelizing to everyone, Kane. You got to be on this diet. It's the best. It's so good. And one thing I could confirm with 100% accuracy, not a single person was ever converted to my diet of the day by me evangelizing to them in that way. The only time I've been able to, over the years... quote unquote convince people to change their life is just to show up and keep doing my thing. And they say, hey, you seem to be happier than me. Your marriage looks different than my marriage. Your kids want to be around you more than my kids want to be around us. How do you doing that? So you see what I'm saying, Kane? You're coming at your wife with a scheme, with a plan. And the fact that you've got a bunch of paid for rental houses, but your house still has, you've always got a thing going, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
So you're a guy with a thing. So you come with your wife and you say, hey, I got a new scheme. And she goes, all right, there we go. That's different than this. Hey, honey, we owe money and it scares me. And I know I don't say that word very much because I'm a tough guy from Huntington, but owing other people money scares me. Every month not knowing how much money we have in the bank in this real heavy mortgage, and I'm working as hard as I'm working, and I don't know where we are, and I don't know what you're spending, I don't know what I'm spending, I don't know how much groceries cost. I feel disassociated from my own family, and I'd love to picture you and me in a paid-for vacation home someday, and our kids going to college because we've saved for it. Would you be willing to go on that journey with me? It's a journey of peace and safety. You see how one's a scheme and one is I love you so much that, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And one of them involves her.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a difference. Yeah. So, Kane, have you asked her, like, hey, what are your goals? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty goal-oriented, but, yeah, I focus, she's a stay-at-home mom and watches the boys, so I You know, I want to treat her the best I can and stuff like that. But
Kane, I was in the marketing world for many years, and in the marketing world, you always look at customers' pain points or their felt need, and that's how you best reach them with your product or service. So I want you to take that approach with your wife and go, hey, what are her pain points? What is she struggling with right now, and what are the points that touch money, and how can I connect the baby steps to those pain points? And then all of a sudden she goes, oh my gosh, yes, I can be a stay-at-home mom and not have to worry about if you're going to be able to make ends meet because we don't have any debt anymore. We have a paid-for house because we sold the rental. It changes the lens in which she looks at this whole plan.
And here's a magic way. This is both to you, Kane, and all the men listening. A magic way to find out what your spouse's pain points are is to ask them. Don't go home and announce her pain points to her, Kane, right?
right.
You're like, oh, man.
And if you're going to do the baby steps, we're not going to be ish. We got to be all in on this because it's going to show her that you're serious this time and this isn't another scheme and that you're not going to be halfway in and then choose a different plan 3 months later. I think when she sees that level of intensity and sacrifice and the fact that you're doing this for the family and not just because Kane had another harebrained idea, it's going to change the way she looks at this.
This conversation starts with you not telling her, hey, you need to get a babysitter for the kids. I want to take you out. Not that. You find a babysitter, Kane. And you let your wife know, I want to take you out and we're going to do something special. And I want you to take her out to somewhere special. And I want you to have a nice journal that you've bought for her and hand her a pen. And you have one yourself. And I want you to tell her, one thing we haven't been doing since the kids came along, since we had the rental house here and this rental house there, and we bought this big house, and we've not sat down and dreamed together. And we haven't sat down and planned together. And I don't know what your needs are in this new season. And I want to reimagine what our marriage looks like and start the conversation with this, Kane. I'm a schemer. As the great Vince Neil says, I'm a dreamer. You're going to start out with, I'm a schemer. And this isn't one of my schemes. This is me wanting to get to know my wife again and get to know our home again. And I want us to plan for the future. And by the way, as a part of this plan, a really big deal for me is that we don't owe anybody anything. And I know that if I don't land this particular job, that we're still going to be okay. And that you can, like George was mentioning, you can do what you want to at the house. If you want to hire somebody to come home for a couple of days, to come to the house for a couple of days so you can go out and do things, we're good.
Yeah. Okay, and on top of that, I'm going to gift you guys Financial Peace University. Watch those lessons with her. You can also start your every dollar budget with that. Hang on the line. Austin will pick up. That's our gift to you.
We'll be right back.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Let me ask you a question. When you think of a millionaire, what kind of job do you picture them having? Is this some kind of high-powered executive position like a VP or a CEO? Is it Dr. John Deloney? Well, here's the thing. Only 15% of millionaires actually have jobs like that. The reality is that the top 5 careers for millionaires in America are as follows: engineer, accountant, teacher, manager, and attorney. That's just one of the surprising things our team found out when we conducted the largest study of millionaires ever done. We talked to tens of thousands of millionaires to find out who they are and how they achieve that goal. Our study also made it abundantly clear that to become a millionaire, you've got to invest wisely. And a big part of that is getting good investing advice. You got to work with an investing pro who can walk with you and teach you about the options that are right for you. Our team recommends trustworthy, vetted investing pros from all over the country. We call them SmartVestor Pros. If you want to get in touch with one in your area, go to RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor and start building wealth today.
All right, let's go to Sabrina in Salt Lake City. Let's find, there she is. What's up, Sabrina?
Hi. I just graduated from college, and I've been staying at my parents' house for the past month.
Okay.
The thing is that just due to some family differences, I'm going to be moving out tomorrow to my boyfriend's parents' house. They've given me a really big blessing until I find my own place. How exactly do I prepare to leave there? And I guess how long should I be staying there? Because they obviously told me you can live forever, but that's not the case, you know?
Sure. What happened at your home?
Just some family differences. Like, they didn't like, there was like no drugs or alcohol or anything. They just didn't like the way that I was doing things in life, and yeah.
Okay. So I think number one, I'm proud of you for being an adult and saying it's time for me to go. And you're not on the air throwing grenades and they're the worst, whatever. Like, you're actually sounding pretty grown up. Like, we have some differences and I'm moving on. And that's called a boundary. And so good for you. As for your boyfriend's parents' house, good on them for seeing somebody in need and saying, hey, you're welcome to be here. I think you are very, very wise to not take you can just stay here forever. Like, no, I can't. And so here's what I think would be help make this interaction successful. I would come up with a date, 3 months, 4 months, and say, sit down with them and say, I'm moving into your home. What are the rules here? Do you want me home at a certain time? Do you want me work? What can I do to help around here? And they're going to say nothing. And I think it's important for you to say, no, I'm going to do something. I'm going to participate in the life of this home. Are you going to pay rent, pay $100, pay $200, pay something small? The year before I got married, when I was saving up money, I moved in with a friend's parents, and I paid a small amount of rent. But it was important for everybody that I had some skin in that game. And we had a very clear exit date. This is when I'm gonna be out. And it puts you on the hot seat to save some money, work some side hustles, to do whatever you got to do to go get your own apartment. And also, it left everything clear. Right. So I would go in and just have a direct conversation about their values, what you can do to help around the house. And let's go ahead and put an end date on paper. It may be that 4 months come and go pretty quick. And then this guy, you're a fiance suddenly. And so I'm going to stay another 5 months or something but let's at least get a preliminary date on the books that we all shake hands and agree. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
So
okay.
Sabrina, you said you graduated. Are you working right now?
No, my job starts in October. That's kind of the big thing here, because I'm going to get a job at Target starting Monday. But yeah.
So you'll have some income.
I'm planning on chilling.
What will you be making at Target?
17 an hour.
Okay. I want you to put as much of that away in savings as possible to take advantage of this amazing blessing where you're not paying market rate rent for a while. That's going to set you up really nicely when you enter this full-time job. Is it already set up? You've accepted an offer?
Yeah.
Awesome. What kind of job is it?
Software engineering.
Oh, fantastic. Do you know the starting pay?
Yeah, it's 105. That's kind of the thing. Like, I'm set once I get my first paycheck, or like the first couple of paychecks in. But
so what if we said, hey, I'm going to live here until I start this full-time job, and I'm going to immediately move out and rent somewhere, either on my own, or if I can't afford it, I'm going to find a roommate.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
I love it.
That's what I was thinking.
Sabrina, I'm going to push on one thing you said, okay? You said, I got this great job starting in October, but I was planning on chilling between now and October. A recipe for relational mess, a recipe for mental health distress is this idea that I'm just going to do nothing. I'm just going to quote unquote chill. Okay. The second thing is you made a very grown-up decision to leave your parents' house. Sounds like it was the right decision for you. But sometimes we have plans. I'm going to go on vacation and then suddenly I lose our job, or I'm going to do this thing and then the world shifts underneath us. And you had this plan where between August and October, I'm going to kind of lay low because I got this awesome job. I'm going to work at Target a few hours a week. It's going to be cool. You made a grown-up decision to step out. And that means you probably cashed in the idea that I was just going to be chilling. So my recommendation to you is, yes, you keep that job at Target, but you also get another job at Starbucks in the evenings, or you also drive in the evenings too. For the next August, September, I want you to work pretty tough. Get after yourself a little bit. Save some money so that October, when you start this new job, you can move into your new place and be ready to rock and roll. The other thing, George, I see this happen a lot, is people sign an agreement for several months in advance and they think everything's going to be great. If there's cutbacks to be made in some of these companies, they start with the people who haven't started working here yet, right? And that's one of the easiest
happened to
places
me out of college.
Okay.
I spent all summer banking on this job. I thought I was a shoo-in. They were like, oh, yeah, it's going to be great. I interviewed. And then the very end of the summer, they sent me an email that was like, unfortunately, we have found that you are not a fit for this position. And I was just flabbergasted.
Right.
Because I had stayed in this place, chilling, all summer going, I got this, first full-time job, it's going to be great. And then I was scrambling.
That's right.
So you got to kind of plan for the plan to not go to plan.
Always plan for the plan to not go to plan.
Without putting yourself in paranoia.
Yes.
And negativity. It's a delicate balance, John. You have found the balance.
Yeah, I don't know if I have. I don't know. All right, let's go to Rebecca in Wisconsin. What's up, Rebecca?
Hi, thank you guys so much for taking my call.
You bet. Hey, we're up against the clock, so get right to the question.
Okay, so I just got engaged 3 weeks ago. I'm on baby step 2, and my fiance just started reading Dave Ramsey as well. I am wondering, I have $5,000 left of baby step 2. Do I put a pause on baby step 2 and save up for the wedding, or do I do both simultaneously?
Well, are the options we go into debt for the wedding in order to pay off the other debt?
Nope.
Okay, so could we continue paying off the debt and still cash flow a wedding and make it $5,000 cheaper? Is that an option?
I think so.
I think that's a cool plan.
So.
But worst case, yeah, I don't want you going into debt for the wedding. So if that means paying minimum payments on our debt for a few more months, I'm okay with that because I don't want you to, continue bleeding here going further into debt. But I love the plan of saying, hey, how can we continue this intensity so that we can start our marriage off completely debt-free and cash flow a wedding? And the flowers that we would have paid $3,000 for, they would have died in 4 hours anyways. We won't miss them. Right?
We had
my
our
fiance's
friends.
very strict on his budget, so yes.
I love it.
Do you have a budget for the wedding?
Yes, $15,000.
Cool. And how close are you to paying that in cash flowing?
We cash flowing. I'm 1,000 short. My fiance has his.
Okay, so you're saying we're 1,000 short, so it's not really going to affect your debt payoff plan then?
Not exactly. That's why I didn't know if I should just put a hold for 2 months and just keep saving it up. That way my whole wedding is paid for, and then I
How about this?
right after
Let's get intense about getting this cash flow wedding. Once that money's sitting there, let's go after the debt and see if we can pay it off by the wedding as a personal challenge.
And let's have one more personal challenge. Let's have a little bit of fun. I want you and your fiance to go out on a date and see if you can get this $15,000 wedding to $12,500.
Ooh.
See if you can cut it. And
Start
take
negotiating. Say, I'll pay this vendor in cash. We're going to cut this person a check. They're giving us $400 back here.
We're going to have Aunt Sally make the cake. We're going to do something. We're going to get it down to $12,500. We're going to take that money, get that debt paid
Aunt
off.
Sally makes a great cake. Good point.
A great cake.
Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
This is the Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined by my good friend George Campbell. Let's go out to Regina in San Antonio, Texas. What's up, Regina?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
Great. Huge fan of the show. Thank you so much for taking my call.
You bet. We're a huge fan of yours. What's up?
So I'm currently working for a retail company. I've been working here for about 4 going on 5 years. They've been really good to me. They have 180 hours of PTO. They have insurance benefits. They have free therapy sessions for their employees. And I currently got an offer for another job. Now, this retail job is not necessarily in my field. I've been doing customer service the entire time. And this new job is a marketing coordinator with a nonprofit, which is awesome. However, they have only 80 hours of PTO. But they do have like other good benefits. They do 6% match and the 403B, I think it is. And they also have paid, holidays from Christmas to New Year's Eve. But it's a $5,000 decrease in my income. So I'm a little torn just because I've been so loyal to, this company that I'm with right now. And I'm currently working in corporate since November. So I was hoping to grow with the company, but it's a little slower than I've expected. But this nonprofit's giving me an opportunity to be in my field of marketing. And I recently just got my MBA, so I've been kind of struggling on trying to find a job in the field.
Is this new position going to get you closer to what you see yourself doing 3 to 5 years from now?
Yes, because of the experience that I'd be gaining. I've set myself up, I guess, to live the current salary that I live. But
so here's what I'll tell you. In my personal life, on multiple occasions, I've taken a pay cut to go from a job that I was either through with or was doing great with to another job that I was going to do even better, or that had a higher upside to it, or I was going to learn some new skills. Multiple times, 100%. Every time I've done that, it's paid itself off in the long run, both in my life, because my life was better, and financially, just the math. It sounds like you are willing to trade being miserable and not being frustrated at work for a lifestyle that you've set up that's a couple $100 a month more than you see what I'm saying? Seems like a strange trade to me. Talk to me about that.
I guess just because, with the current company I have, they give us the free therapy sessions, and I utilize those, just to stay on top of my mental health. And, I mean, the 180
You're at a job that you don't want to be at, and so then you...
But they cover the therapy.
You go to their
benefit.
benefit.
What you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
Okay, take the benefits off the table for a second.
Yeah.
Which job do you want? What lights you up when you think about doing that for 8 hours a day?
I mean, honestly, it'd be really fun to be in, working with a nonprofit as a marketing coordinator. That sounds like the dream and the next step. However, I don't know. I mean, I'm so used to being with this retailer company, and now that I've had the corporate opportunity,
That's it.
But making a decision because you're used to it is a terrible filter for making a decision.
Yes, you were trying to make this about vacation. It's not. You're just scared, and that's okay. I was
It's
a
also
dean of
remote,
students
the
at a
job that I
$billion
have right now.
college, and now I'm a YouTuber, dude. I get it. It was a scary jump, right?
Yeah.
You know this whole thing, and then you move over here. It's a tough move, and it sounds like it's the right move.
Regina, if you hate this marketing coordinator position, could you leave 2 years from now and go be a senior marketer somewhere else and make 10, 15, 20 grand more?
Maybe. I'm just scared because I've applied to like 30 places, and this nonprofit's the only one who's giving me a chance.
Well, do you
And
have
I'm
marketing
scared that-
experience right now?
I have about a year or two under my belt, but it's nothing corporate level or, it was for a university. I mean, it's pretty big, but
I say if you're excited about it, you go for it. And if you can live on $400 less than you are now because you're following this plan, you're going to have a bigger upside on the back end. I started here as a marketing coordinator, 9 years ago, and there's growth. If you're crushing it, they're going to go, hey, we want to put you in this position, And if there's not growth, you can leave.
That's right.
It may not be the last job you ever have, and that's okay.
I promise you it won't be the last job you ever have.
okay, I have one more rebuttal, and then you guys can fight me
Ooh,
for it.
I love
So,
a rebuttal.
Bring it back.
So, sorry. So, I've always had two jobs. Like, I just finished my MBA. I went to school full-time. I had a full-time job, and I had a part-time job. So, I'm super used to being super busy. Now, I only have this full-time job. So, I don't feel secure not having, I guess, a second job that
Well, do you
I
have debt?
truly like. I'm sorry?
Do you have any debt?
I do. I have my grad school and my credit cards, which I'm following the baby steps. So, I mean, I'm doing that, It's just, I guess, the whole career step into security of not having a job.
Regina,
Yes.
just a fellow Texan to another Texan. You and I just having chips and queso, just hanging out, okay?
Yeah.
What are you running from?
Security.
Yeah. Somewhere along the way, somebody told you that you're not enough. You're never going to have enough. That all the stuff comes crashing down on you. And your addiction is busy.
Yeah.
Probably
That makes me
addiction.
cry.
It's a little bit, your anxiety's about chaos. It's a little bit busy. And what you're doing is you're using busy, you're using achievement, you're using go as Xanax, as a way to Band-Aid over just being present and still for a minute. Because when you're present and still, you got to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And for some reason, you don't like Regina that much. Or you think you'll like her more if she gets this degree from this place at this cost and then gets this job and makes this much money. And what I'll promise you is the great tragedy of MBA programs is they don't tell you this one fundamental truth. No matter what job you get, no matter what salary you can negotiate for, you go with you everywhere.
Yeah.
And the world is littered with people who were vice presidents and had fancy cars in 5,000 square foot houses, and they imploded everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so a great move for you professionally and personally is to take a job that you love, that is going to be a job that's going to teach you things at a much slower pace. And you can use this time to heal and get well and figure out what comes next.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to start getting
like my therapist.
ta-da! I want you to start getting curious about your body trying to protect you. Every time it starts to get that angsty feeling, that Saturday morning at 10 a.m. feeling, you know what I'm talking about? That I should be doing.
Yeah.
Ask yourself quietly with a smile on your face, what's my body trying to protect me from? What about me? What about this moment isn't safe? And you need to answer those questions, because when you make peace with those questions, you can work anywhere for any amount of money. And when you can work anywhere for any amount of money, people really want to hire you. They come after you then.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Regina, I heard you say multiple times, well, I'm used to having the second job. I'm used to. That doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean it's normal.
Yeah.
And so let's
when I
find a new normal.
I just had one job. I felt so stressed out. I felt like I was getting depressed.
You felt lazy?
I was like,
Yeah, you didn't feel stressed out. You felt worthless. You felt lazy.
yeah.
And that's a lie.
I want to get to the point where Regina can just sit with Regina and not feel like I'm not doing enough or I'm not being enough.
My friends that work with professional athletes tell me getting a professional athlete into the gym isn't the hard part. Teaching them the benefits and the power and the critical importance of rest. And so I want you to look at rest as a skill. I want you to look at peace as a skill. It's something you got to practice because you don't know how to do it.
Yep, need to learn that.
Right. So, hey, all we're going to practice it. We're not going to beat ourselves up about it. We're not a leadership failure. We don't have character issues. No, it's a skill. My guess is you and I could talk for a long time, and you've been running hot since you were a little kid. And those same things that kept you safe as a kid, kept you alive as a kid, are the things that are going to burn you out as an adult. So all that means is you got to learn some new skills. And we say this, I say it all the time, and probably too much, but I'm going to keep saying it. You're worth being well, and you're worth peace, and you're worth falling asleep at night without medication. You're worth getting up in the morning and drinking coffee because you want to, not because you have to. And you're worth only working one job sometimes. You're worth peace. We'll be right back. It's 888-825-5225. This is the Ramsey Show. Let's go out to John in Bakersfield, California. What's up, John?
Hi, how's it going?
Excellent, brother. What's up?
So just a little background. I've been with my girlfriend here for a while. We're both in our 30s. No debt, no kids. We both make good money. I make about $90 a year. She makes about $130. So we each own our own house right now. We'll probably get engaged here very soon. And we've talked about when we do get married, we're going to move into her house. I like her house a little better. She's been there longer than I have.
Well done.
Kind of done everything to set it up. She thinks when I move in, she'd like to keep my house as a rental property. I could probably net about $800 to $1,000 a month on it. Although with what I already have into the house and how the market is, and I've lived in it for over 2 years, so as far as I understand, I wouldn't pay any capital gains tax. I could probably get about $200,000 just straight out of it. So just kind of wondering your opinion on which would be the smarter route.
What's the house worth?
My house I bought for $320 just a little over 2 years ago. I have about $80 into it for my down payment and the principal I've paid down. And now it's selling, just with other sales around it. And I've looked it up on Zillow for about $440, $450.
Okay. And she's got a mortgage on her place?
Yeah, she's lived in her place for 10 years. She got it for a great deal back in the day. Hers is worth more than double what it is now. But and my thinking is if I get that $200,000 out, I've driven my car for the last 8 years. I'm going to need a new one. I could buy that in cash. I could pay off the car she just got in cash and even pay off her, our mortgage in her house, and we'd be living free.
Yeah, I like John's plan more because, number one, you won't have two mortgages to keep up with. And you're not starting off your marriage as a landlord trying to get your $800 a month while you're probably spending $800 a month to keep this thing afloat.
Yes, yeah, with all the other things I would build on. And plus, I haven't had a car payment for the last 8 years. I don't want one. My car's on its last legs. I'd love to just buy my car in cash, pay off the extra $15 that hers is in cash. And even if not paying off her mortgage, I figure whenever the market starts to slow down again or something, I could still have another 100 and something in the bank to go out and get another one or two properties in the future.
Okay, hold on real quick. You said you don't want to go into debt. That's like getting married and being like, I don't want to cheat on you. Just don't. Never do it. Okay? Just don't ever go into debt, right? I'm with George, man. Sell your rental property, pay your wife's house off.
And she may be upset going, well, we could be making $9,000 a year off this thing. Yeah, and it could also be adding a whole lot of stress, and it could cost you $10,000 a year. And so I think you having a real conversation, go on a date and say, hey, I think this is going to set us up so well in the future. We can pay down the mortgage. We won't have any debt. It's going to give us so much more options. And I want to pay off our mortgage. And then one day we're going to do a rental that's ours together, and we're going to do it with cash.
In quick math, what do you pay in? What's your mortgage every month?
Just under 16.
So if you don't have that mortgage anymore, is that like having some money in the house? You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I could obviously, like, for the way the rentals are going around here, I could get somebody in it for around probably 25 or 26. They pay a month.
Oh, I thought you said 800 to 1,000.
Yeah, I was saying the opposite there, but all I have to say is sell your house, sell it, be debt free, starting your marriage.
No, I meant 800 to 1,000, as in I could get that out of it every single month. Like
Profit.
I pay 16, profit every month.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the extra 10 grand is going to change your life. I think what will change your life is selling it, being completely debt free, being able to throw some at her mortgage, and you guys have a head start on this amazing new marriage.
Yeah, I'm 100% on there.
I'm just more excited about that, just on an emotional level.
Yes.
On top of that.
As two guys who are married and who don't own any credit card companies, it's pretty awesome way to deal with a marriage disagreement, not also being pressured by Bank of America. Let's go to Mike in Scranton. What's up, Mike?
Oh, shit. Hey, guys. How you doing? Nice to talk to you.
You too. What's up, man?
Hey, I got a question. Almost when the last caller just mentioned about a vehicle. I'm just curious whether I should or could be able to buy another used vehicle. I'm driving a hoopty, quote, that Dave says, for the last 7 years. It's a minivan. It's almost 20 years old, over 200,000 miles on it. Nickel and dime me, and my two kids are teenagers now, so it's not cool anymore. But it still runs, but I take it to the garage. Like, it seems like every other month to get something fixed and repaired. And I just got out of the garage because my window was broken.
Hold on.
And I get a motor. So
you're giving me a very emotional plea to a math problem.
Okay.
So
that's it. Okay. So
can you afford the car?
I'm glad you're on the phone, John, because I have trouble trying to separate my money.
Well, you hate the car.
I like to save money, but I'm afraid to give it up.
You hate the car? Good deal. Can you afford it?
What's that? Like what I'm looking for?
Yeah. Can you go buy another car?
How much money do you have right now in savings?
Well, I was looking to spend maybe at least $15,000, to buy another vehicle. But in my area here, I'm trying to find something that's a little for that price or less with low mileage, like at least 100 to 130,000 miles. You're looking.
Yours
at
has 200,000. 100,000 is low mileage to you.
Yeah, man.
Well, I know that's why I'm trying to find something with around.
You can
100
find
to
something for
$15,000
that doesn't have 200,000 miles.
But hey,
come on.
Do you have the money? That's the question.
Do you have 15K?
Yeah, I have the money. Yes, I have the money. But
hold on. Do you have a lot more money?
I have money saved up, and that's another issue. But I also have a disabled son, so the reason we have a van was we had kids, and then my son is in a wheelchair, so I can't just go buy like a small car. I need to have something that I could put, like a small SUV type of vehicle.
Okay, let me
SUV, but
let me press you a little bit. You've had to deal with some hard stuff, haven't you?
Yes, and my wife also passed away too from cancer about 6 years ago. So I'm single dad too.
So when I say you've done hard stuff, you have done hard stuff, right? And you also know better than most of us that things can get really sideways real fast, right?
True.
Is your response, because mine is very similar, is your response to things can get sideways very fast, being really tight with your money? Is that a coping strategy? Here's what I'm asking you. Can you go buy a $50,000 van that's relatively nice, relatively new, that would take care of your son's needs, and that is going to...
No, I wouldn't do that. Not at all.
You wouldn't? No, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I have the cash in the savings, but I wouldn't want to do that because it's just too much money, just based off of Dave's theory. So,
how much do you make a year?
Like around 65, 70.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
So
I would challenge you to, like, man, I just hear myself in you. I don't have a child with special needs, but I also have X number of dollars in the bank, and I still think I bet I could get a car for $5,000. And at some point, it takes somebody walking alongside me asking me, "Hey, what are you trying to prove? Is it a scarcity thing? Is it a fear thing? Because you got the money to get something nicer that is going to be more of a blessing for you and your family than buying a $15,000 car and just holding your breath until you got to sell it, right? And it just doesn't sound like you're in $15,000 car territory right now. Is that fair?
That's fair, yeah.
Okay, and you're talking to a guy that drives an 06. with almost 200,000 miles on it. Like, so I'm not a new car guy.
I got an 02 and an 04. So.
There you go. So this is old car guy to older car guy. I'm telling you, if you've got the money and you're not going to be doing something irresponsible, which I don't hear that at all, I want to challenge you to give yourself a little grace here. Okay.
Well, that's another. Yeah. Well, I have the money, but I have that's another phone call to Dave or you guys ask about what should I do with that money, because right now I sold some property to get some of that money, and it's just in my savings account. So I'm like, I guess I wait till the tax season, because I'm not sure if I'm going to get hit with the capital gains on that or not. I actually sold it for a little less than what I paid for it, so I'm not too sure of it. I don't know how to. I'd rather put that money somewhere into investments, like you guys recommend, but. Right now, I have it, so.
Well, let's start with the short-term goal, which is get a better car. And if you can get a $20,000 car, that'll get you a 2015 instead of a 2012. But, dude, you work hard. You've been busting it. It's time.
You've been through a lot. And call one of our tax pros. Go to RamseySolutions.com and check out one of our SmartVestor pros and our tax professionals, and they will get you lined up with the information. Because what you need right now, brother, is some information so you can have some peace. This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be back soon.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your money and your life and your relationships, really just about everything, your work, all of it. I'm John Deloney, joined here by my good friend George Camel, and we're taking your calls at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Let's go to Robert in Georgia. What's up, Robert?
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. What's up?
Oh, well, first I'd like to say thanks for y'all's devotion to helping people with money and stuff. I've been a long-time listener, and I got a question here to maybe get some guidance.
You got it. What's up, man?
All right, so recently I've been divorced, still kind of going through the legal process due to an appeal. However, recently sold the marital home, and I now have half the profits. I'm debt-free, and I'm renting right now, and I'm wondering, should I think about taking that money from the sale of the house and buying another property, or should I rent for a while? And I totally get that house prices are probably not going to be going down anytime soon. So I don't know. I just
tell me about this. Tell me about the legal appeal.
Yeah. So basically, the everything was finalized, and I got custody, primary custody, and everything. And basically, my ex came in and appealed everything. And if you know anything about legal stuff, it takes forever.
Yep.
So we're waiting on hearing back the results from the appeals court now.
How long has this divorce process been going on?
It started 2020, and the appeal was filed. So, it took about a year to go through the whole process for the local court. And then the appeal was filed after the final hearing. And
did they accept the appeal?
They accept the appeal. So the appeal was filed earlier, and so we're hoping sometime this fall we'll have the outcome of the appeal.
Okay. George, you can weigh in here. I would not do anything until that's over. What I'd hate for you to do. Okay. You got little ones involved?
Yes.
How old?
Twins are 6.
Okay. Jeez Louise, man.
Yep.
So yeah, a worst case scenario would be you take this money, you put a down payment on a place for you and the 2 little ones, and you start building a life. And suddenly, come November, some judge that who knows what they're going to say,
right.
You end up having to sell this house and fork over some more money. Whatever, who knows what's going to happen. I don't want to get into the legal stuff, but I would, if I'm you, I can't give you legal advice. I would just tell you, if I'm in your exact same situation and my 2 little kids and we're figuring out, I'm going to live in an apartment and we're going to have a blast and we're going to play at the park until this whole thing has a period at the end of the sentence.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I've been thinking. Because I was like, I don't have a rush to do anything right now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, too, I was like, maybe I'm letting all the people, the hysteria of the housing market get in my mind, even though I know.
I'm less worried about the real estate market. I'm more worried about Robert and this situation and the family. And so the market's going to do what it's going to do, and you're debt-free and you got a big pile of cash, you're going to be all right. Regardless of that, the house you wanted is 10 or 15 grand more than it was a year ago. So, yeah, I'm with John on this. We're pausing. We're going to keep renting until the smoke clears. And then with our new normal, we're going to decide, all right, we got 200 grand. We're going to get into a house. How much money is this?
It's a little over 100 grand.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I'm just going to park that in a high-yield savings account and let it grow at 1 or 2%. Real boring, but it's going to be the best thing for you right now.
All right. Now, I did hear the other day they were talking about there was some treasury bond or something like that I could get into.
I-bonds?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't mess with those. You can only put like 10 grand in a year, and it's affected by inflation and interest rates, and so you're going to make pennies on that 100 grand by trying to do the I-bonds, and it's going to lock your money up. And if you sell them too early, there's penalties. I wouldn't mess with it, man. You'll be all right.
Yep. Stay flexible.
Yeah, that's right. Stay liquid, baby.
Hey, so that's one of the worst.
Brand new sentence.
Stay liquid, baby.
I immediately regretted that as soon as it left my mouth.
Hey, listen, Robert, as long as you live, never repeat that. That's just not going to be good for anybody.
Good wisdom.
One of the ways that I, in a previous caller, in a recent show, I had a similar discussion. One of the ways I try to stave off anxiety and I try to stave off what comes next is being busy and trying to go out and solve and do and solve and achieve and get and solve. And so I really want to challenge you in this season. Okay. The smoke is cleared for all intents and purposes, right? You kind of know this is what it's going to be like unless something wild happens. Focus on building a new planet that doesn't have to do with a home. It has to do with your relationship with you and your girls because they've been through it, right?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a messy couple of years, and so spend your energy there, man, and make a peace, having some fun out at the parks and going fishing and doing those things, and getting those kids in first and second grade, and focus there. And then when the smoke clears on this thing, then y'all be in a position to say, hey, what comes next? That'd be fantastic. All right, let's go to Ross in Boston. What's up, Ross?
What's going on? Thank you for taking my call.
Of course, man. What's up?
So I just have a question. So a little bit of a backstory. So I am 27. I am a traveling nurse. I've been listening to the show for the past year. I've read Dave's book. And I've recently been able to pay off my student loans, my car payment, and all of my credit cards.
Heck yeah.
Now without this debt, thank you. Now without this debt that I have all this money now that I am making, and I don't know what I should be putting it towards.
This is a great problem. So you were throwing away at lenders, and now you're like, wait, now it's with me. What do I do? Hot potato.
Right.
So what are your future goals? Are you renting right now? Do you have a car that you like?
So right now I am renting. I do have a car that I have now, but I don't have any plans to purchase a car because I'm enjoying not having a car payment. So I'm just looking to see what I should do with some money. So right now, my financial situation is I've got $25,000 in a savings account, about $15,000 in an investment account, and then about $10,000 in a 401k.
Okay. So that $25K, that's got to be your emergency fund and maybe a little extra?
Yes, I am a big-time saver, so I just plan to have about a year of a cushion, I should say.
Great. Well, at 27 with a great income like yours and you have a fully funded emergency fund, I'm going to be investing 15% of my income. You may be doing more than that right now, are you? Or are you doing 15?
Yes, I'm actually doing 15 to 20.
Aha. All right, let's dial that back to 15. You're 27. You're going to be a multimillionaire, and we have other goals right now because you don't own a home. And so let's start maybe saving up for a down payment with every extra penny that's coming in. and maybe 2-3 years from now we can afford a place in Boston, and it's probably going to be like a condo, right? My brother's got a condo in Boston, and it's insane. It's like 300 square feet, and it's like, and that'll be $1 million, sir. So that would be my next goal for you, Ross, is home ownership, and with rent going up and up and up, I'd love for you to have a fixed rate expense there with that mortgage.
And as a 27-year-old man, you are hitting the road, and you're going to have all these adventures. There's going to come a moment when you want your own place, and you want to settle down and start getting some roots. And so I love that.
Way to go, paying off debt, dude.
Yeah,
Not waiting on
crushing it.
student loan forgiveness. Ross is just getting after
Anytime
it.
somebody says, I'm a traveling nurse, my first thought is, you're rich. Such a great gig.
Awesome.
Man. Thank you for your commitment to our communities. We'll be right back. You know those moments when you're sitting right next to someone, but you feel 1,000 miles away from them?
Feels like a personal attack, John.
It kind of does. But it's also
right
true.
here.
And some of you are feeling that way right now, like George. Folks, we've got to put our stupid phones down. And we've substituted deep and meaningful conversations for binge watching Netflix and scrolling social media. You deserve better relationships, and that means having better conversations. And that's why I created Questions for Humans. These are conversation starters that will help you unplug from your screens and actually connect and have fun with the people you care about. And here's the thing. I wish it wasn't the case. It is. And this is the case in my house too. I have let the skill of just having fun conversations atrophy because I haven't had to do it for a decade now because I just have a phone and we can text and we can just send emojis and call it good, and our bodies are falling apart. We launched the first edition of these cards a few months ago, and they've been flying off the shelves ever since. The first press sold out, second press sold out, third press sold out, and people have been asking for more and more topics. And so we got the hint, and we've got new decks in, and we've got new sets of conversation cards. We've added Girls Night, which I know a lot about girls' nights. Guys' Night, Dating, Parents and Teens, Workplace Edition to the lineup. And we also have education ones now that are going to be for elementary school, middle school, and high school students for uses in classrooms and in homes. All of them will get you spending time laughing together, learning something unexpected, and building deeper and stronger relationships. One of the most common questions I hear, George, from parents is, I don't know how to talk to my teenager. I don't know how to talk to my middle schooler. I ask my fifth grader, hey, how was school? And they say, fine. It was fine. It's
and
fine.
they go upstairs.
They go upstairs, right? Or they just look at their phone, or they just stare off into space out the window. These cards are designed to help you reconnect. So pick up 1, 2, or all of our new Questions for Humans, conversation starters, and start having fun together. And you can find all of them at RamseySolutions.com.
Can I pitch a new idea?
I'm all ears.
It's a podcast.
Okay.
You, Dave Ramsey, Ken Coleman, and myself, we play Girls' Night Questions for Humans.
I think if Dave ever says, I'm through with the show, he's not one to go off gently into that quiet night. He's going to want to just go ahead and cancel all the way out. So I think he'd have 30 minutes of just telling his deepest, truest thoughts, and then we would play that. And I think we could officially wrap the show up.
I'm in. Call a slumber party.
By the way, for Girls' Night, we did go get some extraordinary, brilliant women.
Which we have plenty of
all
here,
across
right
the
here
board.
in this building.
Yes, and they are the ones that help direct those questions because I am absolutely unqualified. All right, let's go to Kelly in Los Angeles in LA. What's up, Kelly?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So my question is, I live in LA, I run my business remotely, and I own a house outright here. No payments on it besides property taxes and insurance and everything. And I'm very sick of the U.S., and I'm going to go travel for a year, and I'm trying to figure out if it's in my best interest to rent the house out and live off the income from that while I'm gone, or sell it while the market's still pretty high right now here, and put that money in like some kind of ETF or index and live off that instead.
Incredible. Well, can I ask you, how do you have a paid-for home in Los Angeles? That sounds like a pipe dream.
Yeah, I bought it off a family member a couple of years ago, and they've had it for forever, so I got a really good deal on it.
Awesome. Way to go. So what's the house worth?
It's probably about 1.8, 1.9.
Oh, so it's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath? I'm just kidding.
That's in the bad part of LA.
Square feet.
Yeah. That's incredible. So you have a paid for $1.9 million property that you could sell.
I do, yeah.
Or you could rent it for how much?
Probably about, like, after property manager and everything, I'd probably be making profit like $4,500 a month.
Okay. So here's how I kind of look at it, and Deloney can jump in. So you'd make $50,000 while you travel, and they deal with all the hassle, or you cash out today and take $2 million. I don't know. I'm just looking at it just based on math.
No, so hard.
Like you could park the $2 million in an online savings account and probably make close to $50,000. That's all I'm saying.
I'm scared that, like, I'm worried that property values are just going to go up, and I'll get priced out of the market and not be able to come back if I want to.
Are
You're going to be okay regardless. You have a paid-for home in L.A.
You're going to have $2 million.
Also, the population in California is going down for the first time in history. So I'm not saying that the prices are going to go down, the values are going to go down, but I don't know that they're going to appreciate wildly in 12 months.
And Kelly, I don't know if we mentioned this. You'll have $2 million. In a checking account, like
I'm doing the napkin math for her, John.
What's the chances that you're going to move back to LA? Like you go away. Okay, here's the other things. When somebody gets to a place where they're like this, and I'm being serious now. When they get to a place where relationally, I'm done. Okay, and so this isn't a boyfriend you're walking away from for a year. This is America, right? I'm done with the U.S. I've got to get out of here. I'm going to go wherever. You don't know where the winds take you when you open up the sails out on the open sea, okay? What I would hate for you to do is to get somewhere and say, actually, I want to relocate here for a while, make this a couple of years, make this 3 or 4 years, and you still got this property. It's much better to hit the road, to be out there and say, I'm free, and I've got a $2 million safety net in a money market account somewhere, and man, that's a totally different proposition for me. So if you're my friend or you're my sister, I would say, dude, sell your house, be untethered, have the world's greatest fallback plan. And the chances of you moving back to LA, who knows what's going to happen in a year with you and your adventures, right?
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
Kelly, I just did the math here. If even with the 1.5% interest rate on that high yield savings account, you'd be making about $30,000 a year if you parked $1.9 million in there. Versus getting 50, but who knows if the HVAC goes out and needs repairs, and you're dealing with that while you're traveling and, eat, pray, loving. I don't know what you're about to do across the globe, but I just don't want to deal with that on this adventure as kind of being a landlord, even dealing with property management. They're handling a lot of that, but it sounds like your heart's not in this property anymore anyways.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, I've been fighting it, but...
So you're not going to be that excited to even come back to it a year from now. You're probably going to be a different Kelly after this experience.
You might be a Texas Kelly. You might be a Florida Kelly. You might be a New York Kelly. Who knows?
There's something magical about being untethered and having $2 million in the bank. I don't know. It just feels good.
Picture that in my head, and it's a great picture.
Yeah.
It's a fun picture.
I think I've made the decision... I don't know that Kelly has, but I've made it in my heart. I'm excited to travel.
This may be, James, you were asking us the other day to remember some of our favorite calls. This is going to be one of them. Do I want to have kind of an anchor connected to a chain around my ankle and make about $50,000? Or...
I just want to be in the south of France and be like, we're going to do 2 appetizers. Make that 2.
I want the avocado toast because I have $2 million in my checking account.
You can afford avocado toast.
That's right. One of the only people. Yes.
And then you throw in the gluten-free bread upcharge. Are you kidding me?
But you know what? I've got $2 million.
I like this plan.
Gluten-free me. I'm in. I'm all in. And I also like the idea of getting out of California, going to see some stuff, and then making some
And guess what?
decisions.
If you want to live in California again, you have $2 million to go get you a place in California.
Hey, to everybody listening, though, and George and I are poking some fun, I think mostly because we're both kind of jealous.
100%.
this is why we do this. This is why you work so hard to be debt-free. This is why you grind it and you get through the baby steps. This is why you save money. This is why you pay your house off. Because then you have these moments in life when we've talked to people today, George, that husband just announced, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Or you get so frazzled and frustrated with work, with the news cycle, with whatever, and you say, you know what, I'm going to France. I'm going to Australia for a year. Like wherever you happen to find yourself. This is why we do this. This is called freedom. And this is called peace.
Margin and bandwidth and options and it's all lumped in there.
Peace. Yes.
Hey, George, I do want you to know that $2 million is not enough to cover the shame of eating gluten-free avocado toast.
Oh, James roasting me in the comment section of real life. Wow.
Triple 855-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Let's go to Trevor in Minnesota. What's up, Trevor?
Hi, John. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it, my brother. What's up?
To you guys. So I'll just give you a quick rundown here before I ask my question. I'm 26 years old. I've been working the baby steps since December of 2020. I've paid off $22,000 so far. I have $14,500 left. In that time, I paused to cash flow my wedding and honeymoon. That was in June. Last year, I made $80,000. My new wife made about $65,000. My question is, I'm going back to college full-time starting in August while also working full-time. I'm making a drastic career change from law enforcement. I'm going into counseling. The estimated cost of that's going to be about $50,000. And on top of that, we are expecting our first child in March. So I was just wondering what the best course of action is going to be going forward as far as our finances, and if we should continue with the baby steps, paying off debt, or if we should just stack money away for school and the birth of our baby.
So when does school start?
School starts end of August.
Whoa, like a month from now.
Yep.
And you have $50,000 to throw at it and cash flow it?
No, that is going to be about the total cost.
Okay, so how many years? Is it a 4-year program?
It'll be 3. I have 3 years left.
Do you have the money to get through the first year, first semester, first year?
We have enough to pay off the first semester that's due in September.
Okay. So I grew up in the home of a policeman. I've spent my career working with policemen, and I also have a degree in counseling, a graduate degree, okay? So I've been there for all the things you're talking about. Please don't put yourself and your new young child in the hole any further by taking on debt to get through this program, okay?
Okay.
It's I'd rather see you take a semester that you can pay for, work another semester, pay for another semester. Like, I'd rather you figure it out that way, or work your butt off this semester to impress your professors and show them that you're all in, and be a great student so that they can give you some scholarships, give you a research assistantship or something that will help you with your tuition. I'd rather you do that than wake up to be a counselor, to go help people. And your experience as a police officer is going to make you a remarkable therapist. You've seen some stuff. You've sat with a lot of people. You're going to be a gift. I don't want you driving to that job every day to help other people burdened by $40,000 in student loan debt and a new baby. Okay?
Yep.
Is that cool? I know it's hard and it's kind of dream bursty, but please make that a priority for you and your wife. I'd rather you see you drag this program out and go 4 years or 5 years than come out with a whole bunch of debt.
So, yeah, what that looks like in the baby steps is pausing baby step 2. We're saving up for the baby. We're going to make sure we can cash flow this semester. Once baby and mom are home safe, we're going to look at the next semester, making sure we can cash flow that. And once all the money is there and you know you're going to get through school debt-free, then we can start attacking those other debts you have. But until then, you got a lot. You got some mountains ahead of you. And so it's okay to pause right now to make sure that we can cash flow that and not go further into debt.
Okay, yeah, so you're saying basically stack away cash, get that $50,000 saved up, or approximately $50,000, and then go back to baby step 2 and continue from there?
Because that leaves you still with your $14,000. You'll be making minimum payments on those, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and you don't have to save up all $50,000, by like we're saying, but as long as you can cash flow each semester, and the faster you can get it stacked, the faster we can get to the debt.
And are you still going to be working through school?
Yeah, at least through the bachelor's program, and then the master's program is 1 year, which at that time I'll have to resign and just do the master's program full-time.
Well, I mean, I got through a PhD in counseling working full-time, including my practicum and supervision and all those things. So there's ways there's ways to figure it out. So is this like a 3+1 or a 4+1 program?
Yeah, it's a 4+1.
Okay, all right. So you're looking at about 4 or 5 years of schooling anyway, just checking it out.
Well, I already have my associates.
Okay. So you're just going and taking your counseling classes, and then you're going to start rolling in and taking your graduate courses too, huh?
Correct.
Okay, and then you will head off and do your practicum, and where this will get dicey is when you're doing your supervision hours, depending on where you find when you're getting your clinical hours in, so you can get your license. That's sometimes that gap, that year to 18 months, because some places require you to pay them to do counseling for free so they can supervise you. But sometimes you can find placements where they pay you, and that ends up working out pretty well for you. So yeah, very cool, man.
Sure.
Yeah, you're up against it, but it sounds like you're all doing all the right things to get you where you want to go 5, 10, 15 years down the road. You may not be able to progress as fast as you want to go, but don't go backwards. Yeah, absolutely don't go backwards. Thank you so much for the call. Thank you for loving your community, both as a dad and as a police officer, and now as a counselor. It's such a great, great gift. All right, let's go to Johnny in St. Louis. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
We're just getting it done, man. How are you?
Same here. Hey, guys, quick question. I am debt-free except for my vehicle. I got my $1,000 cut back. I got 6 months of expenses cut back. I got about $5,000 in 401k. What should be my next step? To double hammer the car or what?
Hold up, Johnny. I'm real confused. You just said you're doing the baby steps, but now you're saying you got your fully funded emergency fund, but you still have a car loan?
Yes, I got the car loan.
So you could pay off the car loan today with the savings?
I got $7,000. So yeah, and I owe about $18,000 on it. So
you owe $18,000 on the car, and you have $7,000
Right.
in savings.
Right.
What's the car worth?
Right now, the Kelly Blue Book is a little over $19,000. That's what it's worth.
Okay. What's your income?
About $40,000 a year.
Woo!
Sell the car.
Dude, that's a lot of car, Johnny.
Johnny, sell the car.
Okay.
I mean, how long is it going to take making 40 to pay off the 18?
100 years.
It's right now it's set for about 36 months. I got 36 months left on it.
So 3 years of slowing your life down, not getting to do what you want to do, but you get to drive this car. How nice is this car?
It's a 2020 Equinox. It's got not even 15,000 miles on it.
Okay. I thought you were going to impress me with the features. It's got heated seats, baby. Well, Johnny,
I've never heard anybody in my life. I don't want to run anybody down. That's not my thing, but I've never heard anybody be like, "What's up? I got a brand new Equinox.
What's
How
up?
you like them apples?"
No, it's a nice car, but you can get another nice car. They're out there. So if I'm you, I'm going to be debt free today. I'm going to sell the car. You'll have $1,000 plus your $7,000. Let's go get you a $5,000-$6,000, kind of beater car. That's what it is in this market. And then you'll have all of your income back in your life, and we can be about the business of getting the emergency fund in place, 3 to 6 months, followed by upgrading in car.
And Johnny, listen. By the end of this weekend, you know what you could be?
Debt free.
totally free. I wasn't going to whisper it, kind of creepy like George just did, but you're going to be free, man. Free, Johnny. Is that better than a new Equinox?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
And that way I can work on my retirement at 50 years old, too.
There we go. Now we're getting excited
Dude,
about the
you're going to
future.
be, by Sunday afternoon, you've sold this Equinox, you've bought yourself another car. It's not going to be pretty at all, but you're going to be walking taller. You're going to be about 2 inches taller.
But Johnny's going to be able to retire with dignity. That's a fair trade.
Yes. And you're going to be able to get to and fro. I'm excited for you, man. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Take the step. You got this, man.
Excellent. Congratulations on taking a step to freedom. Man, there's something about but it's new, man. It's new.
I just got it. I know. And there's something about going from a nicer car to a less nicer car that it hurts your pride.
It's like you're failing.
But I care more about Johnny's future than his feelings right now. And I'm pumped about his future.
You should tweet that out. If I knew how Twitter worked, I would tweet that out.
People still use that?
I don't know.
I'll do it and see if
Care
anyone
about
responds.
your future instead of your feelings. I like that. Ooh, well done. We'll be right back. Today's scripture of the day is Proverbs 18:15. An intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. Albert Einstein says, learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow. The important thing is to not stop questioning. I love that. Ask some good questions. That's fantastic. All right, hey, George.
Hey, John. Are you okay?
I'm good.
Okay, you're breathing heavily. You got me worried.
I was just running there, sorry.
I thought you were upset about this article.
No, it's rare that I get to say these words, I was right, and I continue to be right. James brought us in this article here that this is a big news flash, everybody. So if you're doing something dangerous, driving heavy machinery, you're going to want to park it for a second because this is earth-shattering news.
I hope someone is on a tractor right now who's going, all right, got to park this thing.
Some guy's got a forklift and he just sets all the stuff down. He's like, hang on, guys. Hang on. Deloney's about to drop something on us. Article suggests social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok are negatively impacting users' finances, as well as causing nearly half of Generation Z and millennials to feel unhappy about their financial situations, according to a recent study. Those feelings included jealousy, inadequacy, anxiety, shame, and anger. Users' spending habits are negatively impacted as nearly half of users admitted to making an impulse purchase based on something they saw on social media, most of them, 64%, saying they regretted them. Additionally, 64% of parents with children under 18 on social media have reported the online platforms contributing to their kids having unrealistic expectations about money.
I can't believe it took a study to get here, John.
This is about the millionth study that's come out, and here's the frustrating thing. Whenever I'm talking to a parent and they say the words, my 11-year-old's addicted to, I always stop them. Say they're 11. They have no access to anything that you don't allow to be put in front of them. So unless they're in the parents are divorced and there's one parent is just getting off the rails, your kid's addicted to fill in the blank, chicken nuggets, their iPad, their iPhone, the video games, because you allow it. And so when a parent says 64% of parents with children under 18 on social media have reported the online platforms contributing to their kids not doing well, I just want to pull, my hair's short, but I just want to pull it out. Because it's like, man, I handed my kid this thing and their life is falling apart. Man, stop.
It's wild because
stop.
How did we not think that like staring into a screen of other people's facade of success would not cause us to make terrible financial decisions and be depressed?
And getting other children who are not known for A, their kindness to one another, B, making wise, discerning judgments about the appearances of other people. Let's give them an opportunity to comment on how I look, what I said, how I write, how I speak, how my teeth and hair look, how my money looks.
And then you partner that with very targeted marketing that's listening to everything you're saying and then saying, hey, you can buy now, pay later with one touch of a button and all the boxes will show up that will give you immediate happiness.
Billion-dollar companies who have partnered with neuroscientists to figure out how to best manipulate your 16, 14, 13, 11, 10-year-old into buying things. And then we just let it happen. Parents, take control back of your children's minds, please. Please. And I'll tell you, as the parent of a child who he's found himself on an island, my oldest, because he's one of the very few that doesn't have a phone. Man, I would love a group of folks to say, you know, we're on the same team. Same team.
John, I got another tweet-worthy line for you.
Okay.
The problem when you run other people's races is that there is no finish line.
Yeah.
It's never enough.
You can't be.
I'm comparing, well, he got a bigger house than me, and it's not fair because, like, I feel like I work harder, and, like, I went to this better school, and I got this degree, and why do they have all this stuff now? You don't know their life. You don't know how deeply in debt they're in. You don't know if their marriage is falling apart, and yet we're scrolling going, oh, just see the Deloney's got a new, look at the car he's driving. He must be doing very well.
The other night, a couple of buddies here from the office, we went up to a concert from a 90s band. We basically just like a karaoke night. And I have to admit, I took 5 or 6 photos of us just looking like we're having a great time to get just the right photo, looking like we're having just the right amount of fun. And if you look at it and say, yeah, that's not a very good photo, you should have seen the other ones that I deleted, right? We curate this world, and then we put it out for everyone else to say, look how much fun we're having. And I'm an adult, and I fall for it.
And I do have to call out, producer James was at that concert.
He was.
I think he can vouch for the fact that it was not a good time. And that he was, in fact, posing.
No, it was a great time. It was a little bit awkward when he took his shirt off and threw it into the crowd. But other than that, it was...
That did feel a little bit aggressive
we had
and
a great
excessive.
Time. Yeah, but I mean, James
But it's a great point.
He has a good time.
What you don't see is like the craziness and chaos of the day, the hard parts. And again, it's hard to even capture that for social media. Usually when you're taking a photo, it's to capture a highlight.
Right.
But the problem is when you have an entire feed of highlights, you have this very unrealistic picture of what your life is supposed to be like.
And this quote says it best here in this article. You don't know if someone took out a lot of debt to fund the amazing vacation or the perfectly put together outfit depicted in their photos. You just see the smile on the clothes or the smile on the concert and you think everything's great. You don't know what's going on behind those scenes. So...
And on top of that, if they paid cash, good for them, and who cares?
That's
and
right.
Keep living your life.
Way to go. Yes,
that's what
right.
I love to. If I see a nice car next to me, I go, wonder if he paid cash, wonder if he's in debt. And then I go, doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep driving, look through my windshield, because that's how you don't crash. And John, you have personal experience with that.
I was looking through the windshield. I just had my eyes closed. All right, let's take a quick call out to Therese in Los Angeles, California. What's up, Therese? Hey, we're up against the clock, so get right to your question.
Yes, my question is, I'm wondering if I should refinance my house, get some cash out in order to renovate, and then rent my house out and get that rental money as an income. And then my thought was to move to a less expensive area, like a different state.
Would you rent in that area?
No, my intention is to move to suburbs of in Georgia.
So how are you going to have money to buy the house over there if you haven't sold your current home?
I wasn't going to buy. I was going to rent for a year.
Okay.
And see, if I like it there, number one.
Hey,
my daughter lives
Teresa,
there.
let me flip this around. If you were living in Georgia, would you randomly take out a loan to buy a rental property in Los Angeles? Halfway across the country? You wouldn't. Because it would be exhausting and you wouldn't want to be a landlord 10 states over.
And would you spend a bunch of money to make your house nicer also that you cannot enjoy it and someone else can destroy it slowly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Killing me softly with their touch. You wouldn't want to do that. So here's what we're going to do. we would sell your house in Los Angeles and then move to Georgia. I like renting for a year when you move to a new state, but I would cut my ties and take the money and buy yourself rent for a year, find the community that you want to live in, and then take some time looking for a home, and you're gonna have some cash. How much equity do you have in your home?
Probably it's about $650,000.
Awesome.
Oh, that's gonna feel good in a checking account while you're looking for houses.
Could you pay cash for a spot in Georgia with that kind of money?
Yes.
I love this plan. How old are you?
That's the thing. I'm 69, and I'm a widow, and I'm don't have any savings at all.
So imagine going into your 70s with no mortgage payment and having some savings in the bank on top of that, and then we can actually live our life and have a great retirement.
Or you buy a $300,000 condo and you have $350,000 that you can sit down in a retirement account. Now you're talking about changing your whole life without overcomplicating it with a scheme on top of a scheme on top of a refinance on top of a rental plan. Let's go for simple and let's go for peace as you're settling into the back half of your life, right?
Good word.
Hey, I want to thank everybody back there running the booth. Austin, Will, James, Kelly, the whole gang. George, great show.
Appreciate it, man. Fun times.
America, thank you so much for joining us. Be kind to one another and pay off your debts. We'll see you soon. Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.